Del Beckham Jr. made the catch with one hand for the touchdown.
Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Bryant to shot.
Deals. And Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. 7:56.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Serena has done it. Derek Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single.
Topics. 10 opinions presented in current sports. Topics. The #1 sports show in America. Topics. Hosted by Tone Taylor. Topics. Jansen Harris. Topics. And Goran Susnar. Topics.
And yes, we here, September 22nd. The show that everybody loves. Round of applause, fellas. 1 time for it. 2 times for it. 3 times for it. It's what?
Showtime.
It's what?
Showtime.
It's what?
Showtime.
And we're here with Jensen, cooler than the other side of the pillow, Harris.
Yes, sir.
Goran, the great Susnard, and the one and only, often imitated, never duplicated, Tone Taylor. Happy Friday, fellas.
Happy Friday.
What's going on?
Let's get into it.
What do we have today, Jansen?
Actually, I want to start first with Thursday Night Football last night. We thought it would be a sleeper game. Jared Goff, Sammy Watkins, and Todd Gurley had big games in a 41-39 victory over the 49ers. The Rams are 2-1.
That's a lot of points for the Niners.
Pull out the Jared Goff jerseys.
It's a lot of points for the Niners, though.
Topic number 1. The super fight between Triple G and Canelo lived up to the hype. Both men exchanged heavy-hitting blows, fighting it out until the end. The judges called it a tie. One judge had it 115-113 for Triple G. Another had it 114-114 in a tie. And Judge Adeline Bird scored it 118-110 for Canelo. How bad was the judging? How bad was it?
Well, overall, it wasn't bad outside of the obvious. I don't think that either the judges, Dave Moretti or Don Trella, scored it bad because to me, when I watched it, it could have been a tie or it could have gone either way. I had it in favor of Triple G going 116-115. But, looking at their scorecard, you can't really say either one of them scored it bad outside Bird. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel there were some rounds where Canelo was discredited because he wasn't really bringing the pressure. He was backing up. But I wouldn't discredit him for backing up. I would say that's part of his defensive technique. Why get hit? Go away from the pressure. That's how I looked at it. Now, to get into Adelina Bird's scorecard, she had it 118-110 for Canelo. Now, this is completely unacceptable. Usually I would call this robbery, but
robbery.
That is not the correct term.
Is it armed robbery?
No, this is terrorism. This is
okay.
This is a terroristic threat.
Hold on one second.
And that's not the worst part. Of the scoring is not the worst part. There was an unnamed official that told Lance Pugmire, he's from the Los Angeles Times, that Bird will not be suspended.
Oh, here we go.
But she will be benched. I don't know what that means for a couple of months.
They bench judges now.
I'm not sure. I don't know. To me, like I said, to me, it's terrorism. I don't know what fight she saw, what she was on. Like my man Stephen A. Smith, she needs to be tested right then and there. I'm pretty sure they didn't do that, but they're not even suspending her. They're benching her. I don't know what that means. What do you guys feel?
Well, I scored the fight 115-114, and we saw it the second time. We watched it in your house, Goran. One thing I want to say about this is everybody's saying Triple G overwhelmingly won the fight. Well, yeah, overwhelmingly people saying Triple G won the fight, ESPN and HBO. But what I'm going to say is you could easily say Canelo Alvarez won the first 5 rounds. We could say that. Now, he wasn't the aggressor, but he was the sharper puncher. He had a lot of great combinations and spurts, so I will say that. When it comes to Adeline Bird, I don't know what the 118-110 came from, and unfortunately, this has been a problem in fights. I think if it was a lower marketed fight that we wouldn't be talking about it, but you had, as we seen in Australia, you had Manny Pacquiao get screwed over with the judging, or robbed, armed robbery, or Goran would say terrorism. And now we have more terrorism, if we want to use that term, when it comes to this boxing. And I think who benefits from it would be the UFC. Boxing's making itself look bad. The judging was just, it's pathetic. I thought if Bird had Canelo winning, I wouldn't have a problem with that, honestly, because it was a close fight. A lot of the rounds I had a couple rounds, 2 rounds actually, tied 10-10. So I don't have a problem with the tie. I do have a problem with the way Bird judges. She should be suspended and fined.
Just to piggyback off what both of you said, I totally agree. The judging wasn't bad at all. It was not bad. The 2 judges were fair and reasonable. The one judge, Miss Bird, single-handedly tarnished that great fight. She single-handedly did that. So just looking at both of your scorecards, you can easily say it was a tie. You could give it 6-6. I wouldn't disagree with it. I wouldn't disagree if it was 7-6. 7-5 Canelo or 7-5 Triple G. I do feel that Triple G did win the fight. I had it 116 to 115. And it was just, for you to look at that fight and really score it 118 to 110, you have to ask yourself, how much did she get paid? It had to be somebody who was paying her. That is disrespectful and horrible. Terrorism at its best. That makes no sense at all. I don't get it.
Will there be a rematch? Real quick before we go to the next topic.
There has to be a rematch. I mean, no. How are you going to end a super fight like this on a draw? I mean, there's no way possible. The money's going to be there for sure. Hopefully, the judging will be there in a correct fashion this time. But yeah,
not even guaranteed. That's the crazy part about it.
It should definitely be a rematch. You look at boxing today. To be the best, you have to beat the best. And
very true.
They both have competitive spirits, so I feel that they want to beat each other. They don't want to leave out of there with a tie. No, you want to be the unified champ. You want all those belts. Anybody that wants to be the best wants to beat the best.
Without a doubt. This was a very interesting fight, but so was what some boxing analysts and sports analysts said about the fight. Teddy Atlas had a very emotional verbal dispute with Stephen A. Smith about the corruption in boxing. Teddy said that there is no oversight in boxing and that there is no administration in a sport that has been worse than boxing. Stephen A. Smith responded that anytime there is big money involved in any sport, there will be some type of, or could be, some type of corruption. And even sports with oversight have things like this happen. His main stance was, I'm not going to penalize the sport of boxing because they've done so much because of one judge's bad decision making. I mean, which side do you guys take?
I'm taking Stephen A. Smith's side. When it comes to money and boxing, that just makes sense. We've seen it in past years. Boxers, the number 1 guy and the number 2 guy, they don't want to fight each other. If the money's not there or there's another more popular boxer, they don't want to fight each other. So the judges maybe fixing the fight in Canelo's favor or had some inside game going on when they knew it was going to be a tie, I'm not surprised. So I'm taking Stephen A. Smith's side. The big problem here, if you ask me, is, again, like I mentioned in the first topic, is you have 2 big money fights in one calendar year that the judges messed up. You can't have that.
And on that point, this is where I completely agree and understand where Teddy's aggression is coming from. When you have terroristic judges like this who make horrible decisions and then don't get penalized for it, I don't know what they consider benching, but if someone... I know people make mistakes. I know people make mistakes, but this is not a mistake. This is complete blasphemy. You can't score that fight 118, 110 and look at me in the straight face and say, this is true. So, I mean, I can understand him. I also understand where Stephen A. Smith comes because you have players like Tom Brady that were caught cheating and they get...
Ooh, shots at Tom Brady again. It's like every show. Every show.
I'm a Falcons fan, so... But yeah,
every single show.
He was caught cheating. He did get, suspended, but the suspended got appealed, quote-unquote. So basically, it's not like he got suspended.
So you're taking Stephen A.'s point of view.
I understand where he's coming from, but even in that situation, Tom Brady was suspended. So if you're not Tom Brady, you're more than likely getting suspended for those 4 games. Your appeal is not going through.
So, Tone, how do you feel quickly on this one?
Well, basically, I mean, I understand what Teddy was trying to say because you look at boxing. Boxing is more of the mainstream sport where judges determine the fate in the ring. because they score the fights. If you look at basketball or football or baseball, the refs, they don't determine the scores. They have play calling. So I understand what he's speaking on that because it's been going on for years. You know, it's with gambling. Refs can determine, you can pay the ref off and he can score it a different way. It could come out just like this, a tie. It could come out a loss. But now when you look at more other sports like basketball, baseball, it's more about point shaving. You have refs. So I understand what Stephen A is trying to say. Once it's a big game, championship games, just like when basketball with the ref that got sent to jail for point shaving. Exactly. It deals with big games, and once it has two notable opponents, it's all about making money. Sports has always been a moneymaker.
Absolutely, man. What do you got on college football?
Who do I have?
Yeah, what do you got for us on that Clemson game? What happened last week?
What happened with that?
I'll tell you, Kelly Bryant had 316 passing yards and 3 total touchdowns to lead Clemson past Louisville in a blowout, 47-21. Lamar Jackson was shut down for most of the game. This is Clemson's second straight victory over a top 15 ranked team. So how good is Clemson? And now that they are ranked number 2, should they be ranked over Oklahoma?
Yes, they should be ranked over Oklahoma. I mean, Clemson arguably is the second best team in the nation. I'm convinced that defense. I'm an Alabama fan, so
Oh gosh.
that D line, I've always been a fan of, but that Clemson front four is just as good, if not better. So I believe in them. The only thing that I can't just totally get with is their offense and their running and their QB.
Kelly Bryant's definitely getting better. What do you think?
He's
about
getting
Bryant?
better.
I think it was obviously a big road game for Clemson. You know, as predicted, their defense did what they were supposed to do. You know, they allowed them to score 21. They scored 47. I think they could have done a little bit better. But when you say how good are the Clemson Tigers, I think they're really, really good. You know, they have a stingy defense.
Are they better than Oklahoma?
Are they?
After Oklahoma went into Ohio State, that's what I.
Right now, I'm going over Oklahoma.
Okay.
I'm
Right
going
now.
with Oklahoma right now because
Oh,
of
you're
their
going
win.
with Oklahoma?
Yeah, right now because of
Oh, okay.
because of their
okay.
win over Ohio State. That's the only reason. If they didn't win, I would go with them. But I mean, it's still early, so stuff like this could change quickly. So
Definitely still early. I actually will go with. I agree with Tone. I think Clemson, the 2 big victories over top 15 opponents, that really sticks with my head, and I think that overmatches a little bit from Oklahoma. But let's get into basketball a little bit. What do you guys think about Kyrie's comments regarding his trade and LeBron during his interview on First Take? Tone, I know you have a lot to say about it, so we'll let you go first.
You totally know I have a lot to say about this.
Yeah, we do.
It's a few things, you know. I was intrigued. I was shocked. I was amused. I was annoyed, and I was satisfied.
that's a lot of emotions.
It really is. It really is.
That sounds like a pregnant woman.
you know.
Oh God.
But just understand, I was intrigued because Stephen A. didn't call Kyrie. Kyrie called Stephen A. So he wanted to come on this stage and speak about something that the media, that the reporters have been speaking about for the last few months, correct? Because we haven't heard from LeBron. We haven't heard from Kyrie. We only heard from third parties.
True.
So we don't really know exactly what was going on. It's only speculation. So if you look at it, I was shocked because of how he responded to Max's questions compared to Stephen A's questions. It just felt like he was a little bit more deterred with Max. And, you know, he wasn't really straightforward, but he looked like he was just a little bit ticked off more with Max's questions that he didn't really want to answer, but he answered it the way he wanted to answer it. So that's another thing that I was a little annoyed because he dodged certain questions that we needed answers to. You come on this stage, you called Stephen A. You called First Take. You wanted to come on First Take, but certain questions that the media wanted to know that we're basically saying for ourselves without any word of mouth from you, we needed answers to. We didn't get that.
Exactly. And let me just piggyback a little bit on that. The funny part is he called Stephen A. Smith. Am I correct?
Definitely.
He called Stephen A. Smith. We thought we were going to get a Kobe Bryant, Shaq-like breakup interview, and we got nothing. The only reason Stephen A. Smith got better answers is because he forced it a little bit more than Max. Max is a little bit nicer. Stephen A. forced certain questions.
No, Max is a little tough too sometimes.
Sometimes, but
that's
not
why
in
he
this
was getting
interview.
annoyed. He was getting a little annoyed. No, if you look at this interview, Max's questions was straightforward, and so you didn't want to play with. You didn't want to play LeBron. So he was more straightforward. When Stephen A. was asking his questions, it was straightforward. But when he answered a certain way, he was like, "No, I don't want you to feel like, oh, I'm telling you need to." Like the question, he was like, "Did you tell LeBron that you were leaving?" He said, "No."
You know, Stephen A. had to throw LeBron's name in there. Anytime you throw LeBron's name, it looks like Kyrie's annoyed.
But that's why I was amused and satisfied at the same time. He said, "No." He was like, "Why didn't you?" He's like, "Why would I?" Understand this. This is why I was satisfied with the interview. A lot of people walked away from the interview saying, "Oh, I didn't get enough."
I did.
Like you,
I
didn't
walked
get
away.
enough.
I got a clear message.
But I got a clear message.
I went to bed on that interview.
And you know what it means? LeBron is not his friend. They're not that cool.
Absolutely.
He has nothing to like. When they were teammates, we're teammates. But off the court, we go our separate ways. So I don't owe you anything because at the end of the day, when LeBron was going to leave, he wasn't going to tell Kyrie. You know how I know that? Because D Wade is arguably Bron's best friend, correct?
Exactly.
When he left Miami, did he call Wade? No.
He should have. I give you that point. Go on,
what
chime
I
in on this
Very good,
argument.
Very good. I got one clear message from it. I didn't not from what he said, just how he presented himself. To me, it looks like he's coming for the top. He doesn't he doesn't care about what LeBron thinks
At all.
He doesn't care what the media thinks
At all.
I think he came on to say, "Look, I'm my own person. I feel like I can be the best, and that's what I'm gonna go do. I can't do it here." He says there's too much drama and all this with LeBron. Okay, that's fine.
much hype with him.
And you know, like when you brought up Max asked him in perfecting your craft, which is what he says the sole reason why he did
'Cause he wanted to
what
play
he
point
did.
guard.
He
Point
wants to
guard.
be a pure point guard. He's like, does this include you winning championships? And he explained to Max Kellerman that includes that in perfecting his craft includes winning the championship. So to me, it's obvious he doesn't want to be LeBron's sidekick anymore. He wants to be, one of the best. He wants to be.
Do you feel like some of the questions were kind of forced? That's how I felt during the interview. I felt like, especially Stephen A. Smith, forced Kyrie Irving into a corner. That's how I felt during the
You know
interview.
what? Like just to piggyback off that, it's not that he was forcing him into a corner. He was asking questions that we all wanted answers to. But the thing that we have to realize is, if you look at Kyrie's answers, if you analyze it, he already knew what he was going to say before he came up.
Yeah, it seemed like it was pretty
So
played out.
everything that they asked that wasn't in his rebuttal, he dodged it a certain way and answered it the way he wanted to. He had this precise. He knew
Definitely.
exactly what he
That's-
wanted to say.
So, Goran, what do you have for us with your segment?
All right, let's go. We have a special segment this time, so let's go to get into what's right with White America. We'll go on.
Good evening. This is What's Right with White America with yours truly, Goran the Great, the only segment where we break down top white athletes for the week.
So what is right? I'll tell you what's right. It's the Kansas City Chiefs' Alex Smith and Travis Kelce.
Woo!
There's no doubt Alex Smith has been extraordinarily impressive in the 2 games he played this season. Whether it was spanking the Patriots, leading his team into a beautiful... I'm sorry, guys. Away from the mic. Whether it was spanking the Patriots, leading his team into a beautiful victory, or when Kelce Smith connected for over 100 yards in their tough victory against the Eagles, when these two guys are playing at their best, they can do some serious damage. They're remarkable performances, along with many others, including the Kareem Hunt and the rest of their team. Definitely puts this team as one of the best, arguably the best team in the league, which I don't agree with they're the best. Obviously, to me, it'd be the Falcons.
Is that your question? Are they the best team in the league?
No, that's not the question. I'm going to get to that in a second here. But now let's take a look at some of the numbers Alex Smith had. So far, he has 619 passing yards with 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and connecting over 75% of his
Say
passes.
that one more time. 70 what?
75%.
Okay.
He has a quarterback rating of 134.1 in these 2 games. He for sure passes the eye test, the stats test, along with Kels, who was a 15 overall receiving yards right now, which definitely puts them. It puts him in the league's discussion of one of the best tight ends. Now, everything being said, I know it's a little early in the season, and I don't like to ask these questions early in the season, but could we consider Alex Smith as one of the elite quarterbacks, and where would we put Travis Kelce in the tight end rankings?
Since we don't have a lot of time, I'm going to just go ahead and say my answer. When it comes to Alex Smith being the lead quarterback, I want to laugh, I'm going to be respectful, and just say no. Travis Kelce, yeah, I'll give him that. Top 3, top 4.
Top 4? Who do you
Tight
you have
end.
3 ahead of him? You have 3 tight ends ahead.
I got
of Kelsey?
Gronkowski,
then
and I have. You
stutter
know what?
after
I
that.
have Jimmy Graham. Actually, I just think I blame the system. Jimmy Graham.
Don't blame no system. Are you serious? You put
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham over Travis Kelsey?
I definitely put him top 2, but with Alex Smith, I wouldn't put him as an elite. He's really good this year, and if he continues to play like this, I think we have to put him in the discussion.
Downright, Travis Kelsey is definitely top 2 in the league. I don't know what you're talking about. Alex Smith, definitely through these 2 games, he's looking like Brady.
Let me clarify.
He's
real
looking
quick.
like Brady this year.
Let me clarify real quick. Let me get a little 10-second wrap up with this. I say Jimmy Graham because Seattle, they robbed him. They robbed him. They didn't put him in a good system. Please trade him. That's why I say Jimmy Graham is more talented than Travis Kelsey. Obviously, his numbers are bad. That's why he's going to be featured on my segment today.
Only
I'm
as
just saying.
good as your last game.
Very
That's what
good.
they say, right?
That's a very good argument. But coming up next, we picked a big game in
Just
SEC
saying.
between the 17th overall Mississippi State versus the number 11 Georgia. And we'll get at the chance to give that man a raise and return your paychecks. You're listening to Topics on IBNX Radio.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not listening to Word of Mind Radio, then you're seriously missing out. Hosts Trey Grizzy and Non-Ether share their perspectives on everything from social issues that affect our communities to relationships and trends that affect us all. Guaranteed to teach you something new. Word of Mind is engaging.
The only way that we can do this is do it together. So I love you. We all love you.
Empowering.
Somebody dropped the ball somewhere because we want our kids to forget the struggles that we went through. But the struggles that we went through is what got us to where we are now.
And definitely entertaining.
Y'all want to post some names like Gertrude, but back in the day they called her Gertie. They called her
Dirty Gertie.
Dirty Gertie, flirty Gertie. You know what I mean?
Y'all are horrible.
Yeah.
Tune in and learn up every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on IBNX Radio.
And we're back. I just want to thank everybody for listening to Topics every Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. on IBNX. Make sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Topics ATL. So let's get into some college football. College football upset of the week. Mississippi State Bulldogs dominated LSU in every possible way in the 37-7 victory at home Saturday night. Their defense shut down LSU's offense. Fitzgerald had 4 touchdowns, 2 passing, 2 running to lead the Bulldogs offense. Is Mississippi State that good, or is LSU just that bad?
I don't want to discredit Mississippi State. I don't want to take anything away from them. They played their hearts out.
But you're
They were
about to.
tough. No. I need to put that disclaimer out right now because I don't want to take anything away from them. They showed me a lot. They proved me wrong. Let me put that out there. So the eye test shows that they're really good, and they're arguably I'll put them top 2, top 3 in the SEC. Now,
And SEC West or SEC overall?
overall.
Overall, okay.
Overall.
That's a compliment.
Overall.
The SEC is good.
They're all right.
Oh,
See, now that's what I'm
Go ahead and
coming to.
clarify yourself. Let me. stop
LSU
interrupting.
after, because in the beginning, before the season started, I said LSU. I feel that they're going to be one of the best, and they're going to be in the playoffs. They're not an elite team.
When you mean college
football player. I
So
felt
that's a
LSU
big
was.
victory.
I know. It was, and I just don't think LSU was elite this year.
Not after that game.
I just don't think it. That was
Mississippi
a beat down
State
to its best.
looks good, and I'm going to say it for playing nobody. Now,
Hold up.
LSU
Was LSU considered a nobody? I just want to clarify.
that game, they were a nobody.
What game?
I'm not giving LSU their credit of their name for that game. That was not LSU playing. I don't know who played for LSU that game. They were horrible that game. So Mississippi, I'm not
But
discrediting.
did you see LSU's game before that?
Yeah, that's why I said for that game they were nobody.
Okay.
The performance they had that game, they played like nobody.
Our videographer's upset.
Videographer's upset because he is a Mississippi State fan. But that being said, I don't think LSU is necessarily a bad team. They just had a really bad game. And their offensive line definitely had a bad game. Their offensive line's been struggling throughout the season with 8 penalties
They've been struggling.
in 3 games. 8 penalties, 3 games in the offensive line, which is the most on the team. So they definitely, if they want to...
So it wasn't a fluke.
I mean, it wasn't a
No.
fluke, but-
We have to give
Mississippi State their due.
We have to give Nick Fitzpatrick. He was awesome. 4 touchdowns total, 2 passing, 2 rushing. I didn't really watch a lot of the game, but videographer, also my brother, he hit me up, was like, dude, LSU's on upset alert. That was an impressive victory.
very
Yes.
impressive.
Let's-
Very impressive.
But let's look how LSU played. If
But
LSU
you're
played the
looking
way
at
they
it.
played the other game, that's... I mean,
Yeah, they had one game, right? How many losses do they have?
1.
Who?
LSU.
and you feel that coming off that game that this is not repetitive, their O-line is not good.
They're a awful quarterback. But that's
not good.
credit to Mississippi State, though, for forcing
They
him.
played
That's
a
really
good team, a team that's good, and it showed.
All right, let's ask a better question then. After blowing out LSU last weekend, Mississippi State Bulldogs will try to pull off another upset when they play number 11 Georgia. Can Mississippi State pull off another upset? Before y'all say anything, I just want to say the Bulldogs will win.
Okay, go on. Why do you feel that way? Go ahead. Let's throw the question back on you. Why do you feel that way?
Well, they're both Bulldogs, so I mean, obviously, it was a joke. But I think Georgia's going to win. I don't think they have an answer for Nick Chugg or Sony Michel. You know, there's no question. They're going to do what they want to do. If Mississippi State wants to win, I think they're going to have to do exactly what Georgia is good at, run the football with Fitzgerald and Williams. They're definitely going to have to establish that run game, because if they don't, it's over. But saying that, it's going to be really hard against Georgia's front seven. That's a dangerous dangerous group right there. I don't see them doing it, but if they are going to do it, they have to go through that. So it's kind of like a dilemma. You can't really, ain't nothing you can do about it.
I very rarely agree with you.
Very
rarely agree with you, but I do agree with you when I first of all, like I said, Mississippi State showed me a lot. I feel this is going to be a battle for the second best team in the SEC. I do feel Georgia is very, very good. I have them second, and the reason I wasn't even a big believer with them in the beginning.
Hey, I told you.
But
what did I tell you about Georgia?
Vincent proved to me. He told me, and I watched it. The eye test, they pass it. Offense, defense. They're well-rounded, and I have them winning this game.
So we're all on Georgia. I'm sorry, Eden. I'm going with Georgia. Georgia's at home. They have a better defense. They're going to put the pressure on Fitzgerald, and he's going to make mistakes, and I don't think Georgia's going to make mistakes. But let's get into the Falcons. Even though the Falcons beat the Packers 34-23, deja vu hit them yet again from the Super Bowl memories. As in the second half, they had a little bit of a collapse, like they did against the Patriots, but they kept their composure and won the game. That's all that matters, right? So was this breakdown for the Falcons, or is this something the Falcon fans should worry about? I don't even understand the question. They won, right? That's all that matters.
They won, but I understand where the question's coming from. When you watch the game, it seems like the Falcons.
Wait, hold on. Let me stop you real quick. From a Falcons fan, how could you write this question like this?
I mean, I wrote it as I felt. Here, let me explain. So when you're watching the game, you're seeing your team dominate. There's no chance they're coming back. And then you see a long stretch of Green Bay just doing whatever they want. And you know sports are a game of momentum. Yes. One change in momentum could be the change in a victory and a loss.
Absolutely.
And the only thing that was good there is that the Falcons played really good defense, and Aaron Rodgers had a bad first half to where they couldn't score enough to come back. Now, if we scored one less touchdown, that it could be a different story. So, I mean, I don't think it's something we need to worry about, but it's something the Falcons have to work on. Their second half efficiency, to me, is not good right now. Because let's take a look at this. 2 weeks in a row against the
Bears.
The Bears. Yes, I'm sorry. The Bears. You saw what happened in the fourth quarter. They had 4 chances to win the game. And like I said, if anybody else was there, that's a win. Yet again, the Falcons, second half.
I agree with you. If I was quarterback for the Bears that game, then we definitely would have won that.
If any one of us were the Bears quarterback, we would have won that. But no, to just to piggyback off what you were saying, should Falcon fans be worried? Should you be worried going on? No. And the reason I said you shouldn't be worried is because did they lose? No, they didn't lose. And I attest that to their experience in the Super Bowl. Regardless of the first game, how horrible and how close they kept the Bears, they pulled it out. And I feel them gaining that experience, offensively, defensively, and the coaching staff gaining that experience, it prepared them for when they do come across that. So, again, football is a long game. We all know it's a tale of two halves.
Absolutely.
You could play great the first half, play horrible the second half, and lose. Or vice versa. So it's all about adjustments and adjusting to the adjustments. And I felt, even though they didn't have the great offensive game or half that they had in the second half against Green Bay, they did enough to win and keep the lead and win that game. Absolutely. So no, I don't think that you should be worried because they're learning to win. They learned off that Super Bowl. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Very good point.
What's going on with what happened to Cowboys last weekend?
Oh man, listen.
What happened to the Cowboys, man?
So the Broncos dominated the Cowboys on both sides of the ball Sunday, winning in a blowout fashion, 42-17. Listen. It's music to my ears. 42-17. Trevor Siemian threw 4 touchdown passes in the win. Can the Broncos get to the Super Bowl with Trevor Siemian as their quarterback?
Well, they can, but if you look at their division right now, that's a scary division. 3 teams, 2-0. It's not. It's hard.
Best division in football.
Best division in football right now.
AFC West.
And then you got to think about the big dog. They're always in the discussion. Patriots. So I mean, without a doubt, Trevor Siemian is a good fit. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback in the future. He had an amazing game against the Cowboys. I'm going to hate a little bit on him right now, though.
Oh, here we go with this one.
He had 2 interceptions in both games already, which isn't a big deal, but it's not a good sign.
It isn't a good sign.
It's
He is turnover prone right now, but we cannot overlook the fact that he's tied for the league lead in touchdown passes. That's what he is. And this Broncos team, honestly, if you or me play quarterback for their team right now, the way their defense is playing, the Broncos can get to the Super Bowl.
True.
And that's definitely the truth. And the reason I want to say that and agree with you is this defense is looking like that
Super
year
Bowl.
they won.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And Peyton Manning was a shell of Peyton. He was a shell of Eli Manning. That's how bad he was. But understand, all he had to do is control the game, no turnovers. He didn't throw the ball away, and the defense took him. Defense wins championships, fellas.
Okay, we got some baseball coming this way. What you got going on?
Definitely. Just as dominant as the Broncos were on Sunday, so was Major League Baseball this season. The MLB.
So,
I got a list right here. Stay with me. Houston, Orioles, Yankees, both in the top 3 with home runs. I say we need some drug testing over there.
but you just said you're a believer of this steroid.
I know. I'm just saying this has something to do with it. I'm linking it.
It has something. Just to
ahead,
touch
Tom.
on that, because I don't know where your mind goes sometimes. I think this is an amazing feat. If you look at it, for the last few years, baseball hasn't been that popular.
It still isn't.
Especially in 2014.
It still hasn't. Okay, I totally agree. And the peak of baseball was with the steroid era. Everybody was hitting the home runs.
So I bring it
You
up.
loved it.
I
You
loved
loved
it.
But now understand. Now you have the MLB as a whole. This will be the first time 30 teams combined for will be over 6,000 home runs in a season.
Is that bad pitching?
But no.
Explain
but
this
now,
to me.
But now listen to this. This will be the first time that it will be over 6,000 home runs, but also this will be the 12th season in a row that it will be more strikeouts each year. So they're striking everybody out, but there's a lot more home runs as well. So strikeouts go up each year. They're breaking records each year. But now this year is the first year that they hit over 6,000 home runs. You know what this means, right? Runs are down.
I'll say this, though. I do appreciate, I don't know, Goran, if you wanted to chime in,
Go
but
ahead,
all right,
go
I'll
ahead.
get it. I do appreciate guys going at it, trying to hit more home runs. But Charles Barkley has something to say about that. Charles Barkley, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and these new millennial, quote-unquote, peers, poor babies for not wanting to play 2 nights in a row. Do you agree with Charles Barkley and that the league caters to its players? Goran, you have a lot to say about this.
Well, definitely the league caters to its players. So, I mean, Now, I don't see anything wrong with the league setting up schedules to where players don't have to play back-to-backs.
I do.
If they can do that, I'd be okay with it, right? Because they'll be more rested. This will lead to fewer injuries. I feel like it will lead to better performances by more players because they are more rested. Now, I totally agree with Charles Barkley's thought process, not exactly what he said, but if you're in the NBA, right, before you actually play a game, you know the schedule, you know when you're playing back-to-backs, you know everything. So don't give me an excuse that you're tired. You know, I'm not saying rest your players in games. I'm saying play strategically the correct amount of minutes. Pretty sure they have people for that, so where you're not tired. So when these back-to-back games come up, you're not as tired. And I understand if they had 5 games in 7 days where 3 were back-to-back, they had a day break, and then 2 were back-to-back. I can understand what they're complaining like that. But if you're only playing a back-to-back game, there should be no excuse, you know. And if you're going to complain about this, then don't play basketball. Like I said, you know what you're getting yourself into. It's not like it's a surprise that you might play a back-to-back game. So now, I mean, with all that being said, you know, I feel like the league should move towards this to where they don't have to play back-to-backs. And I personally think it'd be better for the sport in general. But if you do have to play it, don't complain. And if you are going to complain, don't play basketball. That's how I look at it.
Zone, what do you think about this?
The league does cater to the players, but I don't see nothing wrong with it. Why? Because it's a players' league. I come to see the players. I don't come to see the owners. This is why I feel the NBA is run better than the NFL. The NFL is a dictatorship. I don't come to the games to see the owners. I come to see the players. So if we had issues for the last few years with coaches sitting out players and players sitting out for back-to-backs, because when do teams play back-to-backs? On the road. So they're on a 10-game road trip, and they have, let's just say, 2 back-to-backs out of that. Okay, that takes a toll on your body. Regardless if you could be the best in-shape person in the world, your body is your temple. I understand that. But it still takes a toll on you. Let's just say you're on the West Coast and you have to travel to the East Coast, and now you're playing 2 back-to-back games. You take one day off, then I have another back-to-back. That takes a toll on your body. But understand, these players nowadays are getting paid millions. So they invest in themselves. So if I can talk to my commissioner and say, you know what, as a league, we think we should minimize the back-to-backs, and we could give the fans us coming to see us play each and every time they want to. Why not? If you go to Atlanta game and they play Cleveland, you came to see LeBron. You don't come to see Atlanta, right? Now, if that's on a back-to-back, he might not play.
That's true. Please, somebody put the camera on me. I wish we had that Cry Me a River song. I'm speaking to all 9-to-5 workers out here, the casual people watching this show, the fans out here. I'm going to say Charles Barkley, for once in his life, is right. We, the people, we go to work 40 hours a week. We have to pay certain bills. We can't just go to our boss and say, look, boss, I'm a little tired. I want to work 32 hours this week. You know what they're going to tell you? You're fired.
That's bull.
You're fired.
That's bull.
Hold on. Let me finish.
I'm going to let you finish.
Let me finish. You're fired. So what I'm going to say is the LeBron James is out here, the Stephen Curry's. Pull up your skirt. Pull up your skirt. You go on a little road trip. Things get a little bit hard. You play harder.
I just want to mention. I just want to mention one thing.
I need to touch this. Go
ahead.
Because why I feel that's bull that you're saying that is because when you work a 9-to-5, right, and it's a good job, right, you have a union, correct?
No, up north you have a union. No. Not in Georgia. Not in Georgia.
So no jobs in Georgia have unions?
No.
You're a liar. You're lying.
Tell me
Let's
one.
stick to the sports, guys.
No, because that's bull. Because if you have your union back you, if you have issues, you can talk to your boss.
Really?
Why not? If you have an issue as a collective bargaining, or if you want to put it as NBA say, and you have your union, you can go to your boss and say, okay, we're getting paid. Look, that's why people go on strike. People never have gone on strike before.
That's true. But
has anybody gone on strike in Georgia? Nobody in Georgia has ever gone on strike.
Tone, you're a little bit more privileged than me. You've worked those type of jobs where Tone goes.
We getting off topic.
But let's go back. Let's get to give that man a raise
and return your paycheck.
Yes, let's
get into this next segment. Jansen's, give that man a raise, return your paycheck.
Definitely.
Show me the money. Show me the money. You throw 5 touchdown passes, score 30 points, throw a no-hitter, or hit a couple home runs. Give that man a raise. Return your paycheck. If these athletes play like garbage, underperform, and don't live up to the hype, Jansen puts them in check with return your paycheck.
Yes, it's that time. It is that time. I'm going to show a lot of love to Matthew Stafford, the highest paid player in the NFL. The Lions are 2-0, and he's the main reason behind it with limited wide receiver talent. He has 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's proving why he is the highest paid player in the league.
Let me tell you something. He's going to be on your return your paycheck next week. Guarantee you that.
Okay, go on. Thanks. And speaking of return your paycheck, let's go with the Colts backup quarterback. He's laughing before I even said it.
Wait, he's a backup. What do you expect?
Scott Tozin, we're going to have to get on you. 5 interceptions. You're the driving... In 2 games, he has 5 interceptions.
Oh, my God.
That is Madden numbers right there for sorry Madden players out there playing on rookie. Shouts to all y'all. 5 interceptions. The Colts are 0-2, which means they have no hope. He's averaging 128 passing yards a game.
Amazing.
He's terrible. That's what that means. He's been so bad. I'm picking the Browns to beat the Colts. I got that desperate with him. And also, for those who think Andrew Luck is coming back, Andrew Luck hasn't practiced all week and likely won't play Sunday. So that's all I got for y'all. And key moment right there. Yes, the Browns beating the Colts. So let's get into, we're about to go to commercial break, but coming up, we get into our main picks for the primetime games.
Yes.
You're listening to Topics on IBNXradio.com.
What's up? It's your girl, Not Ether, with Word of Mine Radio, wishing IBNX a very happy 4th birthday. May this year be filled with prosperity and good fortune.
IBNX Radio.
IBNX Radio. This is Jeffrey Michael representing for IBNX Radio. It is the 4th anniversary, so that's how we do it. It's flavor. I'll be a Michael Suiting, yeah. Flavor. I'll be a pepper Suiting, IBNX Radio, no, bad love.
IBNX Radio.
We're back. You're listening to Topics on IBNX Radio. Let's get into these primetime picks. Marshawn Lynch, Derek Carr, and the star-studded Oakland Raiders will visit Kirk Cousins and the Washington Redskins Sunday night in prime time. Will the Raiders improve to 3-0, Tone?
I'm a Raiders fan, and I'm a Marshawn Lynch fan.
Not saying the way. I thought you were a Giants fan.
Listen. When I say I like them, meaning I like players on the team, so I'm not. You know who my team is. There's a difference. I'm a fan, but everybody knows. We're gonna talk about that. Don't worry about it. But what I'm saying is this. This was really a tough one for me, and I'm honestly really making my decision as we speak. And although I like Oakland, I like Washington to win this in a close game. I feel it's going to be a high-scoring game. You know, Washington back on the winning track. They're home. The Raiders have to travel far. They're having defensive deficiencies right now as we speak. They're struggling a little bit on defense right now. They are. Even though we know they have a stout defense, it's a good defense. Right now, it's struggling a little bit. There's holes in it, and they have to travel from the West Coast to the East Coast. I'm giving the edge to Washington. I have them winning 34-31.
No. I have the Raiders 27-17. I'm gonna tell you why.
That's a close one.
Yeah, even though this is a trap game a little bit. A lot of people are picking Washington. They think this whole thing's gonna matter. It's tough. It's tough.
A tough game.
But I think Oakland, their experience is gonna play a factor. I'm gonna tell you why. Marshawn Lynch, I think he's gonna have a breakout game. I think he's gonna crack over 100 yards. I think Derek Carr's gonna throw a couple touchdown passes, and that's gonna be the difference in the game. Also, let's not forget about the big boys up front. Donald Penn, Gabe Jackson, they're going to be moving the line of Washington. I think they're going to win the line of scrimmage battle. So that's why I'm picking the Raiders to win and improve to 3-0. I think the Raiders are for real. They're a Super Bowl contender.
I like them too.
I think the difference will be Cooper.
Cannot.
I don't think Josh Norman is going to have an answer for him. I think him and Carr will connect for over 100. Look, right around 100
That's a great
yards.
matchup right there. Amari Cooper versus
It is a great matchup,
Josh
but
Norman.
I think Cooper will win it. I mean, it's like you said, it's a tough decision, but I'm going to go with the Oakland Raiders 24-17. And so, speaking of tough games, let's get to another tough game. We have the Dallas Cowboys. Were embarrassed by the Broncos last Sunday, losing 42-17.
Woo!
Ezekiel Elliott had a career low of
8 yards.
8
I
yards.
love it.
Single digits. Single digits.
I didn't think that was possible.
Rushing. 8 yards rushing. Just so people know. Will the Cowboys bounce back against the Cardinals Monday night?
To be honest, I still think the Cowboys are still punch drunk from the beatdown they took in Mile High. To be honest, I'm being honest right now. with back-to-back road games, this is going to be a tough one. I feel it's going to be a close game. They're going to play better. They can't play worse.
They can't. It's impossible.
They can't play worse. But I think Dallas, this is their second back-to-back away game. This is the Cardinals' first home opener. It's going to be a close game. I have them winning 27-23. I think what you got to understand, what Denver did was put the blueprint out there how to beat Dallas. You load the box and you dare Dak to beat you.
But that box is different on the Broncos and the Cardinals. That's two different boxes.
I totally agree.
Different boxes.
I totally agree with that O-line. I totally agree. But I just feel like this is going to be a Cardinals win.
I hate to pick the Cowboys 3 weeks in a row. I just don't see them losing 2 in a row, going 1. And I can't see Brady. It. I mean, they're not Brady, but I don't know when's the last time they lost 2 in a row with this team they have right now. They haven't. So, but yeah, I'm picking the Cowboys. I think they'll regroup. I have them 21-13. I don't know who's gonna stop Fitzgerald on the Cowboys. I don't know who's gonna have to answer him. But at the same time, I don't, like you said, there's no way they can be worse. I don't think Elliott's gonna have another 8-yard carry, 8 yards for rushing game again.
I don't think it'll be
I'm
that
pretty
bad.
sure he'll get right around under 100. So I mean, I got the Cowboys. I hate to pick them 3 weeks in a row, but
I'm not picking the Cowboys. Who you have, Jensen?
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah.
I'm still on the Cowboys. The Cowboys will bounce back. Zeke and Dak will play a lot better. They had a little wake-up call. They were in Denver. We shouldn't overreact about this. Remember, the Giants are still in their division, and they're better than the Eagles and Washington. Can we agree on that? Yes.
They're better than the Eagles.
Yes, thank you. And the Giants are struggling, so that's going to motivate them. They're going to win this game Monday night. And I'm going to tell you why they're going to win this game. Carson Palmer is interception prone. He's not shy to interceptions. I think he's going to throw a couple. I think Dak's going to clean up his play. I don't think he's going to throw another pick six. He's not facing the same defense. I know Patrick Peterson is going to be out there, but I think Dez Bryant is going to win some of those battles. He's going to limp to it. If he doesn't, Jason Witten is the safety blanket, and I think Zeke is going to have 100 yards. Zeke will get 100 yards this week.
I hope
Guarantee it.
I hope so. But now, just jumping back to my Giants that I know you wanted to speak about because you just want to bring them up. The Giants' offensive woes continued last week against the Lions when they were the driving reason why they fell to 0-2. Will New York win their first game against the Eagles?
It's a must.
He took a sigh for that, like, Lord help
It's a
Giants.
must-win game for the Giants, but I don't think they'll do it. I know Odell feels confident about his ankle, even if he's not 100%, but, I mean, same story, different game, But one good thing they did have, though, is Eli did show a little bit of life at the end of their game, but the receiver just couldn't finish the job. Not like they were going to win the game, but, without a doubt, it's a big divisional games, and the Eagles played really well against 2 teams, and now they're at home versus a kind of Odell-less Giants, to say the least. He's going to be there, but how much of an impact will he really have? So
it seems like you just gave Eli some credit for something he didn't deserve.
Well, don't do that.
Don't give Eli credit.
Don't do that.
What I did say is he did have a good stretch at the end. The receivers just couldn't finish. Not saying they would win, but my score prediction for this game is 34-13 for the Eagles. I think it'll be
34-13.
It's going to be a breeze.
Wow.
It will be a breeze for the Eagles.
You're a big Carson Wentz fan, I see.
And I'm not a Carson Wentz, but I'm the Giants. I don't know what y'all think y'all got.
34-13.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what the Giants don't have. They don't have offense. That's what the Giants don't have. That's what they need.
I'm sorry. Did you want me to change that 13-10? Is that too many points for the Giants?
I was a little bit more generous. I have it 17-10 Eagles. Carson Wentz will make fewer mistakes than Eli Manning. That's what's going to come down to. I think the offensive line of the Eagles is better than the offensive line of the Giants.
We have the worst offensive line in football.
Exactly. So you guys can't protect Eli, and Eli's going to throw picks. Odell Beckham Jr., I want to get this through everybody's head who's listening or watching this show, is not going to save the Giants. He's going to put up big numbers. He's going to be flashy when he's healthy, but he can't save the Giants, and that's point blank period.
Listen.
Giants are in trouble, 0-3.
Listen, my team is a mess, and by no means should we be picked to win this game. Hence why we're not. So I understand. But I think we come alive in the rarest times.
Oh gosh.
And, we come alive when our backs are to the wall. So I have the Giants winning this game.
Yes.
I just feel like, it's going to be a light little stretch where we actually get some protection. I feel Varina's going to have a better game. I think we're going to get some type of mobility, some type of run game. I don't trust and believe in that defense like they're the best defense in the NFC East. I don't believe it.
Who, the Eagles?
Yes.
I agree. They're a tad bit overrated, but they might. No, they're not the best defense. Excuse me.
They're
The
not.
Giants have the best defense.
But
in
I
the
feel-
NFC East. I feel bad for the Giants' defense.
I do too. And and that's why I feel like with our run game, if we can establish some type of run game, we can hold the time of possession. That means we can keep our defense off the field, and when they come, they can dominate like they're usually supposed to.
Tone, I have a question for you.
But wait, I do have them winning. Them finally breaking that record of no 20-point games. I have them winning 23-17. What's your question?
First of all, I'm just shocked that you're picking the Giants to win this game.
I am.
But my last question for you real quick. Is this Eli's last year in New York?
Is it his? I tell you this. We should definitely look into getting a backup or the next comeback.
That is true, but something the Falcons don't have to worry about is getting a backup quarterback because the undefeated Falcons will travel to Detroit to take on the Lions Sunday in a fight for the first place in NFC. Who will win this high-powered match? I'm going to let you guys go first.
This is another tough one. Lions defense versus the Falcons offense. Tough battle. And you know what?
This is the best game of this weekend.
It's I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. And it's funny because the Falcons are definitely in the last week they were in the best. That was the best game of the week as well. Them versus Green Bay.
They're right back at it.
Right back at it this week. I know you're feeling good about that, Goran. And
Yes.
and I know you're gonna love my pick right
Whoa.
now. I know you're gonna love my pick. I have
love
the
that.
Lions winning this.
Oh, he got us.
I have the Lions winning this.
everybody.
Actually, I do love that he picked that because it's going to help me when we choose our picks for Instagram. Yeah, that's going to help me win because
I have the Lions winning this 26-20. Tough battle. Tough battle. I have that Lions
That
den
is
winning
disrespectful.
that battle. I just feel it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a low scoring game. It's gonna be in the 20s, so it's gonna be 26.
the way I look at it, the Falcons look like to me is, let's take a look in the boxing match. Right now, they've just been jabbing. I'm waiting for that left or right hook. I'm expecting a 42-24 victory for the Falcons. Yes, it's in Detroit. I do not care. Okay, let me tell you something. Name one team in this league that can stop outside the Broncos that can give the Falcons a real
answered
challenge.
your question.
Okay, I said outside the Falcons. Okay,
No.
So nobody. So I don't expect the Falcons to have no trouble scoring 42 points in the Lions. That comes excuses. Oh, they're on the road. This and that. It doesn't matter. You know what matters is that nobody can stop Julio Jones. Last week he had 4 receptions, had 96 yards. Who was doing that? Nobody. Okay, so I expect him to have a great game. He hasn't really.
Who's in the Packers secondary? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Like you put anybody against Julio, I guarantee you he's gonna do him up.
That's fine, but don't discredit Sanu. Like he wasn't balling last week too.
No, the whole Falcons offense was balling. Sanu was
But
big.
this Green Bay defense is not this Lions defense. Can we attest to that?
True.
Okay, that's all I need to hear.
But when you have great offensive teams like this, sometimes your defense ain't enough.
Yeah, let me make my pick. First of all, let's go back. A little flashback for you guys. 2014, last time they played each other, the Lions won comeback fashion, 22-21. I just want to.
2014.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, hold on one second. Since you want to discredit the past, last week the Falcons did look unstoppable. I'll give you that. But at home, last time the Falcons were on the road in Chicago, they looked like an average Joe team.
Okay.
Am I correct? Okay, let me finish. Golden Tate and Marvin Jones. I think this is a good matchup against the Desmond Trufant and Robert Alford. They're going to win those matchups. And the difference in this game is going to be Matthew Stafford's going to show why he's a better quarterback than Matt Ryan. Millerod, this is for you as well. I know you're listening. Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than Matt Ryan. Here's a stat for you guys. Matt Ryan has as many touchdown passes as Josh McCown on the Jets.
Okay.
So anything compared to the Jets, is bad for all the people listening who don't watch football.
That's fine. Matt Ryan hasn't been up to par, but the team is still lights out.
Let me finish. So I'm picking the Lions to win this matchup at home, 28-24. Another thing, Vic Beasley is out, so that's going to hurt their pass rushing.
He didn't do his homework.
Exactly.
Vic Beasley is out.
He thought he was going to play.
No, I knew Vic Beasley was out.
So I don't know what you're going with the 42-20, but I am picking the Lions.
24.
Excuse my ignorance. I'm picking the Lions to win 28-24.
Okay. Still got Trufant back there.
Okay, listen. Just to piggyback off that, week 2 was a great week. Week 3 should be even better. What's your upset pick, real quick?
Me, I don't know. This is It is an upset. I'm gonna go with the Saints in Carolina.
Saints in Carolina.
Saints Carolina.
Who's your upset pick?
The Saints in Carolina.
Who's your upset pick?
My upset pick, real quick: the Titans over Seattle. Seattle has no offense.
I don't think that's an upset.
I don't even. That might not be
that's an upset, but like I said before, I have the Giants over the Eagles. Next up, we're gonna go into my segment. Is it hate?
These guys act like they know everything about sports.
Is it hate or is it great?
Like these guys on all these talk shows, like, well, that guy's not a good baseball player. That guy's not a good football player. That guy's not a good basketball player. I'm like, dude, in your opinion.
It's time we separate the hate from the great. Cut the grass and let the snake show. Now let Tone tell you who's speaking greater or who's just a plain old hater. Now let's talk about it. Okay, now, again, ESPN puts out another ranking.
Might as well create a segment for them.
Another ranking. This time, they're ranked the best number one picks of all time, NBA. Let me just give you the list of top 10. Okay? They have LeBron number one. Now, I want everybody to understand this. These are the best overall number one picks in the draft. Not the second, so Jordan is not going to be in this. Number one overall picks. They have LeBron number one. Kareem number two. Duncan number three. Shaq at 4. Magic at 5. Oscar Robinson at 6. David Robinson at 7. Hakeem Olajuwon at 8. Elgin Baylor at 9. And Dwight Howard at 10.
Oh, I'm gonna have to stop. Dwight Howard.
Okay.
You hear the bias right there with the Dwight Howard comment?
Dwight Howard at 10.
So you can't name
Dwight Howard is. Wait. What? Are you talking? Are you dumb? Are you serious? We left out Allen Iverson. You put Dwight Howard over Allen Iverson? In what world? Who is picking Dwight Howard over Allen Iverson? Don't worry, I'll wait. Not this one.
Keep waiting. That's
David Robinson is over Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, I don't know what that.
People that really watch basketball, I really want you to understand this list. That know the history. That know the numbers. Let's be real. David Robinson was petrified of Hakeem Olajuwon. Look at the numbers. Look at the matchups. Look at the history. Dwight Howard should not be top 10 on this list. He's over Patrick Ewing.
Yes.
That's disrespectful.
He left. Why? Because he has 2 rings? He didn't get those 2 rings till who got there? Tim Duncan.
He shouldn't even. I wouldn't have him on the list, actually.
That's
David Robinson.
I wouldn't have David Robinson on the list.
Oh.
Did you say that Shaq was above Magic?
Shaq is at 4, Magic is at 5.
Okay. Again, this is ESPN again at its finest. I take time to always diss them every week. How inconsistent are the lists? I could have sworn they had Shaq. They had Magic Johnson higher than Shaq on the all-time list. It's really inconsistent.
It's very inconsistent and it's horrible. Like, what are you talking about? Who does these
Did they
lists?
have Kareem over LeBron and now LeBron's
As
over Kareem?
one of the greatest of all time.
I'm done with
They had
ESPN.
Kareem as one of the greatest of all time above LeBron, but now LeBron is the greatest number one. Maybe because what? He went to
He's a better
another final. He's what? What'd you say?
No. I don't. I'm trying to understand where they're coming from. They're saying a number one draft pick, but he's better overall. I mean, if you're number,
I don't mind LeBron being number one on the list. I'm just saying be consistent.
Yeah, very
with
true.
ESPN, be consistent with your list. That's all I'm trying to say.
You put David Robinson ahead of Hakeem.
Yeah, that's
You put him
disrespectful.
ahead
That's
of
really
Patrick
disrespectful.
Ewing. You put Dwight Howard ahead of
How
Allen
did Dwight
Iverson.
Howard make the
I
list?
put Anthony Davis over Dwight Howard.
That's what I'm saying. I'd rather have Anthony Davis. He's done more throughout his career than Dwight Howard has. But
Listen, this is just blasphemy. It's horrible. And you know what? I'm tired of giving them this light, but you know what? It's a hate great moment. And that's a horrible hate moment. That makes no sense.
Dwight Howard, we still love you though. You're from Atlanta though. We still like you.
Yeah, okay.
Come to the show, Dwight.
Bruh, you better do something in Charlotte this year. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what Michael trying to do for you.
13th seed.
You ain't been good since you was in Orlando. But this let's go into my message. I do this at the end of every episode every week. It's inspirational quotes for sports. You are never really playing an opponent. You are playing yourself. Your own highest standards, and when you reach your limits, that is the real joy. Again, let me repeat that. You are never really playing an opponent. You are playing yourself, your own highest standards, and when you reach your limits, that is the real joy. That was Arthur Ashe.
Very good quote as always, Tone, but unfortunately we are out of time. I want to thank everybody on all social media platforms for tuning in every Friday from 7 to 8.
Friday.
Make sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Topics ATL.
Yeah, let me take it away. Let me take it away real quick. Remember, y'all, you are what you focus on. Go follow us. We're doing big things on social media, not just on the show, and listen every Friday.
Topics ATL. Topics out.
And we out.